People that know me could see it. I couldn't be happy properly, you know?
It's part and parcel of what comes with someone who is living on the edge a bit and is hardwired, to sort of march forward with incredible energy. Right. And I think lessons learned for him without assigning, you know, culpability or blame to anyone. As a leader, those are the kinds of situations he needs to learn to avoid.
A lot of the times when a controversial situation arises, there are opinions that are given after the fact. This gift is known as hindsight, being able to see something you might not have seen after. There are certain reasons why that hindsight can be wrong. One of these things is this idea that respectability can solve a majority of issues that have constantly plagued people, specifically when it comes to racism and how it can adversely affect African Americans in sometimes very dangerous ways. To suggest that black people should simply be nicer, or to imply that their personality has invited some kind of detriment, is not only egregious but disrespectful. And to push that idea, to push that narrative, is dangerous in itself. And the reason that that is so very, very fatal is because then people start to look at it from this idea of privilege, from this viewpoint that doesn't exist realistically. I cannot alter my biology in any way. I can't change the color of my skin in a way that would allow me to dodge the certain things that white privilege affords white people. And essentially, what I wanted to talk about was this idea of respectability and why it irritates me so much. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because a certain public figure who exists in a realm of basketball that I enjoy did that very thing of suggesting something that was inherently disrespectful. And even though it's not a slap in the face, it still is. It doesn't surprise me as an African American to know that there are people who harbor these ignorant beliefs of, well, if you simply would have been nicer, then the cop wouldn't have murdered you. Oftentimes, there have been a lot of people who make the argument of, well, it depends on your status, and if you were disrespectful, you were considered nice in your community. If celebrities telling you that they have gone through this type of stuff isn't enough, I don't know what your threshold is, but it must be impressive to be able to willfully ignore all of these examples. But what did Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, which is a league that features a lot of prominent African American superstars, what did he say? Essentially, when asked about the incident that featured Masai Ujiri, who is an African GM, the first, I think, the first African GM to win a title, to have success, when asked about this officer that tried to accost Ujiri, Adam basically said, well, he's a bit, he lives on the edge, and he needs to learn from this. Now I'm paraphrasing, but the main point of that is that even though at one point Adam says we shouldn't assign blame, we shouldn't we shouldn't look at this as anyone getting blame, he quite literally took the blame and put it on Masai for Masai's fiery personality. See, when you're an African American, instead of being, determined or passionate, you are ferocious, dangerous, a thug. And it's not always intricately stated, It's not always going to be worded in a way that people can't pick up on it, you know? It's just odd that a guy in this situation, who is even cited as knowing Masai for years and years and understanding Masai, and to try and do the things that he does to make the NBA seem progressive, it makes it completely hollow. It's not surprising, but it makes these sort of efforts to say, yeah, we care, even more hollow. They ring more hollow. The thing about respectability is that it functions as a way for people to see someone in a certain light. And depending on your level of respectability, people will say, hey, this is a good guy, we recommend him for this and this and this. But racism, the thing about the racist vision is that it doesn't see that. It looks at the skin color and determines all of the characteristics based off of this. If you're a racist and you look at this, you see monkey, you see nigga, you see these various formats of grotesque and disgusting, and you believe that this should be eradicated, or you have certain other predetermined beliefs of that are ignorant, which suppose that I should not be in any kind of position of any power or any success, and that everything that I'm doing is detrimental. That's how a racist looks at it. Now, if you extrapolate that racism to everyday people, because celebrities like LeBron had one of his houses, I believe it was spray painted. Like Serena Williams, and anytime she gets slightly upset, all these caricatures come out, all these things come out. But let's zoom in on normal people. Elijah McClain, anybody? George Floyd? These people weren't dangerous in any way. George Floyd died due to a misunderstanding about a bill. A dollar bill got this man killed because an officer took a situation and believed that Floyd should die because of a misunderstanding. How much respectability did he need to convince the officer? How much respectability did he need? Elijah McClain, considered a bastion of the community, was pretty much an angel by all accounts, literally was going and playing violin for sick patients and playing violin for cats. Like, this dude was the nicest guy. And while recently it has been talked about that, yes, hey, the obvious happened. These officers literally murdered him because of a misunderstanding. I don't understand where this respectability is supposed to eliminate this murder. This respectability is supposed to eliminate this evil. Why would you pump someone full of ketamine just because they aren't that nice? How nice do I have to be to make sure that I don't die if I get stopped by a cop? And even if I am perfectly nice, I could still get shot. This idea that you can boil it down to the simplest degree of, yes, just be nice, just follow the rules, and you won't die. I personally believe that Adam Silver should apologize. And I think there needs to be more noise made about this. The documentary, that the sort of docu-episode that was about Masai's entire life is very enlightening. It's very cool. Beyond that one disgraceful moment, it's a really neat video that goes into how he made it in his career. It was a lot. He failed at times, but he really succeeded, you know? But I think especially because of the fact that this came out a year ago, and I guess people just didn't watch. I didn't know about this, but somebody pointed out this clip, and I think that it's important to call out racism when it happens and eradicate it. And it needs to be understood that this type of thinking of blaming people, blaming African Americans for racism is stupid. It's stupid. It's asinine. It's destructive, and it's corrosive, and I don't like it. And it frustrated me when I first saw it. And the normal people. Hell, if you want to go back to since he's a commissioner of the NBA, did you ever see any of your players who talked about this? Udonis Haslam talked about how he was held at gunpoint. Bradley Beal talked about how he got taunted by an officer who said he would end his career. There's been countless examples from your own players when they tried to boycott. But yes, I think there needs to be more noise made about this. Masai himself does talk about the fact, because I think recently today, I want to say, it came out about how he's talking about how, yeah, for me it was just, I didn't get to celebrate the finals and as happy as I could be, which is a privilege in itself. But there are people who don't get that, for that misunderstanding. For Masai, the misunderstanding caused him some grief. But for other black people, there isn't even a chance to be like shook about it, because you're already full of bullet holes. Or there's a knee on your neck. How nice are you supposed to be, you know? What is this threshold of niceness and respectability that you're supposed to hit? Because some of these people that I've talked about have hit this, and they're still in danger. You know? Like driving, just doing anything at night, putting on a hoodie. There's certain actions that as a black man in America I can't do without thinking about, like, okay, is someone gonna think that I look suspicious here? I don't want them to think I'm stealing this. I don't want them to think I'm doing that. There's so many things that you have to evaluate as a black person in America or everywhere, because of the fact that racism is so just grossly entrenched in damn near everything in life, that I just don't understand that how people can see that. And I know that some of it is willful ignorance, because like people don't want to think about racism. They don't want to. It's uncomfortable, and they don't want to deal with it. But unfortunately, for black people, we have to deal with this shit every day, and it fucking sucks. It just does. It sucks. You can't exist peacefully. Not driving, not walking, not playing with a toy gun, not going to the grocery store, not doing a damn thing. Because it could be your last day, yo. So this idea of respectability, solving racism, is just wrong. It's flat out wrong. Adam Silver, I believe you should apologize. I think that is necessary for you to apologize, and I don't know how many people are gonna see this video, because in the ocean of YouTube, I'm very small. But if just somebody sees my video and then someone else goes, hey, maybe we should talk about this, and they start talking, and other people start talking, that's good. That's what I want. I want people to not let this go and make it understood that you need to eliminate this idea, because it doesn't help at all. And it's very disrespectful to just suggest that it was all your fault. Of course, there are other situations with gray areas, but so many of these situations are so obviously racist, and people just blame the person who got killed for it. What was McClain supposed to do? What are these kids supposed to do when this Scary officers got a gun in your face. So yeah, we can put a suit on, you know, update the minstrel dance with some new tap dance shoes, and it don't matter. Still die. The day I don't have to worry about just existing as a human being and doing things, and not worrying that I might just accidentally like piss someone off and then get killed for it, that'll be a good day. But that day is not today. And Adam Silver, you need to apologize. You just need to. This idea that respectability solves racism is wrong. And that's it. That's it. That's not how you eliminate racism. The way you eliminate racism is calling it out and not doing this BS. So yeah, it just pissed me off, and I think it's important to talk about. I hate not talking about this stuff. Like I don't want to. I don't ever want to come off like, oh, he's just in it for the convenience of it. You know, I feel like it's important because of who I am that I need to talk about it. I'm not gonna talk about it like every time, but to call it out, to make it known like this is bullshit. Can't just sit around, you know.
A lot of people kind of use this analogy talking about Black Lives Matter as a movement. It's not a movement. When you black, it's not a movement. It's a lifestyle.